live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course. Video is processing. I see that Last Beacon, of course, is doing his inaugural ping us, actually, over there. Beacon, cut it out with the ping us. I'll get the reference. It is one of my favorite memes, actually. There was the, well, actually, I can't say that on a YouTube live stream. Never mind. Nah, there was another version. It was N-word related. You've probably seen it, I'm assuming, considering your fixation on Pingus. We'll be getting to a lot of news today. There's some crazy shit going on. We've got the huge hurricane, the death toll soaring above 100, unfortunately. And normally I do storm warnings, but for this one, I thought it wasn't going to be a big thing. Unfortunately, it turned out to be fairly catastrophic. We've got the vice presidential debate tomorrow. I will not be live reacting to that because, you know, I'm on a different time zone. I'm on vacation, and it's the vice presidential debate. I can't imagine there are going to be major sparks at the debate. I think Tim Walz tends to be fairly reserved in his speaking, a little bit of a chucklehead. It sort of reminds me of a younger Joe Biden. J.D. Vance is going to light into him, but I mean, he does that, you know, anytime he's in a public conversation, so it's going to be slightly lopsided. Nasrallah has been confirmed dead. They've recovered his body. We'll be talking about the wider ramifications for the now regional war, unfortunately, over in the Middle East. We've got 90,000 people sheltering in place in Georgia because of a massive chemical fire, actually, in Conyers. And it's become a bigger version of East Palestine. I disagree with Megyn Kelly on Harris voters. I'll be talking about that. And Al Sharpton actually getting it right for once. Yes, hell has frozen over. Al Sharpton has a positive opinion. I never saw that one coming, so, you know. We'll be talking about all that and much, much more. Yes, zero response from the current admin. Yeah, with the Conyers fire and stuff like that. No response. No response to the hurricane. Biden doesn't give a shit. But then again, he's busy eating bran muffins. I heard that he was stopped up, and Jill insisted that he remain in the bedroom so that he wouldn't deploy a dirty bomb elsewhere in the White House. Yeah, this is sort of like a miniaturized Katrina, actually, at this point. We're here in New Orleans, and here, I mean, it's 90 degrees out. The sky is perfectly blue. There's no problems at all, but, you know, Atlanta got smashed. If I had gotten the ticket, by the way, for a day later, I would have had to go through the Atlanta airport to come here and probably would not, therefore, have made the flight. I picked my timing perfectly. By the way, the other day, I had turtle soup for the first time. I would rate it a 9 out of 10. It was pretty fucking delicious. It does taste a little bit like, it tasted a little bit familiar, if that makes sense. But it was a little bit too salty. I'll give it 1 point off because it could have used a little bit less salt. Yeah, it's like 90 degrees or something like that here in NOLA at the moment. Let's see. Yes, Chris Ollinger, humble meme former. Caught fire in a hurricane? Yeah, I mean, I don't think the hurricane had anything to do with the Conyers fire. I think that was just a chemical fire. You know, with the right chemicals, they'll burn even if it's pouring rain. Should have added V8 to the turtle soup. Yeah, no. It is more on the chili side. It's not really a soup, per se. BW, did you see Tim Walz flipping off the frat boys for yelling Trump 24? I actually have not seen that, but would appreciate a video of it on Twitter DM. Also, what do you make of the polls for JD being much less popular than Walz? Did Trump make a bad choice? I'm worried Trump won't win. I think that has much less to do with what's going to be the outcome than the actual presidential ticket. It's Trump versus Harris. J.D. Vance is not extremely well liked, but you got to understand they're also polling people who are liberals. S.C. Woods, Kerry is boring. Gordon Brown, former UK PM, is the only person that could brighten up the room by leaving. Wasted bonehead. Good morning from the grave. Woo. Yeah, I want to visit Marie Laveau's grave, actually, in the next couple of days. Sir Thomas Drake. Here's a bribe to mute Last Beacon for the rest of the day, week, forever. His spam chats have made me leave your live streams early several times in the last couple weeks. I'll give him a temporary mute if he ping us again. How about that? That's the best that I can do. Or new. Well, up yours, Sticks. When else am I supposed to organize my socks or sort my slacks but 9 a.m.? When I listen to you. Yeah, I was joking about John Kerry. I can't name a politician more boring than John Kerry, at least within U.S. politics. I mean, I just can't think of one. I'd rather have a beer with Bush. He'd be like, strategery. Last night, did you hear? I gave Laura Bush a big orgasm. Something like that. With John Kerry, he'd just mumble and bumble his way through the dinner and be like, you don't even have any conversation. Oh, did you hear about the new climate change bill that I introduced? Yeah, pretty great. Well, yeah. Then he goes back to eating his soy, I guess. Wasted. Sticks. Yo mama so ugly, pimps pay her to stay off the street. I love yo mama jokes. By the way, somewhere around here, I have some of that. Just a sec. I'll get that. I want to show this off. Yeah. Had this before, actually. It's pretty good. Slap your mama. Speaking of mimetics. Yeah, Cajun seasoning. And then I've got that Gator said cold-blooded killer sauce. Oh, man. I've got to get some more souvenirs before I leave New Orleans, of course. Yo mama so poor and so dumb that she put out the cigarette butt that was lighting your house. Bill Fry, can you talk about Trump's plan to bring jobs back to the U.S.? I'm not sure how tariffs will do the job. I'm not 100% on board with the tariff idea, although I do believe in applying it to China. It would bring jobs back. It probably would increase wages. It could be helpful, but it remains to be seen. We haven't done like a tariff system in quite some time. So we'll see what happens. It sort of depends on what they're tariffing too and how much the tariffs are. Let's get to the news, though. Unfortunately, we have over 100 people dead due to Hurricane Helene or Helen. I'm not sure exactly. I suppose it's local pronunciation. Supplies are rushed to North Carolina as Florida digs out. Yes, Georgia and North Carolina got slamma-jammed by this hurricane. The administration, by the way, has not said a fucking mumbling word about this to my knowledge. This does not surprise me. Biden's probably got a focus group that's convened right now, and he's planning on what he's going to say at his next presser. Orange juice is delicious, by the way. Only juice you need, other than V8. Technically, that's fruit juice. Excuse me. It's 100% humidity here, so, bear with me. Yeah, unfortunately, I guess over 100 people died, I think, just in North Carolina as a result of this storm. Normally, I issue a storm warning if I think things are going to get really bad. But unfortunately, it looked like this one was going to be like, you're going to get heavy rain and some wind and stuff. There'll be palm fronds blowing around. It intensified very, very rapidly and became a Cat 3, dumped a shit ton of water across the Georgia area. And I wouldn't be talking to you right now probably if I had flown out one additional day, because I never would have actually been able to land at the Atlanta airport. They were diverting it even when I took the flights. They diverted it both times. And then they claimed that there was heavy turbulence, so they couldn't, serve us the normal food. But of course, there was not really any turbulence. I was kind of mystified by that. I'm glad that I'm flying back through Fort Wayne instead of through Atlanta. Atlanta's airport is a little bit onerous. Fort Wayne does it best. Detroit, the city itself might have some fucking problems, but the airport is spectacular. Probably the best airport that I've been in, actually. So unfortunately, we do have massive hurricane damage from Helene, and many, many people have died, unfortunately. I hope none of them were clankers. You know, I'd miss them more. Not saying I wouldn't miss anyone that died, but, you know, the clankers, we do it best. BW, I sent you a video on X Sticks. Stupid YouTube wouldn't let me send you a chat mentioning X. Lol. Huh. Let me check this. Yeah, I guess Tim Walz flipped off a group of students. And now, of course, Twitter won't load my messages. It does that on a regular basis. It's the one thing that, oh yeah, it says like, it's the one thing that's wrong with the platform. Yeah, man, I can watch myself live on Twitter, man. Just a sec. Something's... What the fuck is wrong with this shit? I'm doing the best that I can. You gotta understand, normally I've got a big screen in front of me, not a little screen. And so it, oh God. Yeah, it's not gonna load. I'll have to get to that later. Bye, Nest. What's a hurricane, man? Ain't that when there's lots of rain and wind? Yes, Mr. President. Can I have my socks? No, Mr. President. The commander-in-chief has ordered us to keep you sockless at the moment because your feet stink. I thought I was the commander-in-chief. No, that's Jill. That's basically how it goes in the White House at the moment. We've got the vice presidential debate tomorrow between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. This is going to be probably, if I had to guess, I don't think there will be any big moments. JD will stick to issues. Walz will sloganeer. In the end, you know, all of the networks will declare Walz the winner. It's pretty formulaic. It's going to be boring. That's why I'm not going to bother live reacting to it. Also, the fact that I don't have my big screen at the moment, so it'd be difficult to do a live reaction. Also, copyright. They've started to make presidential debates and vice presidential debates basically exclusive. So content creators can't really live react to them without the risk of them losing their channels. So I'm not even going to fucking bother. I'll recap it after it happens. I'll definitely watch it, but otherwise I'm uninterested. Also, it doesn't really change the dynamics of the race unless you have a real punch-out moment, which I suspect would be delivered by Vance more likely than Walz. Then you're not going to see any movement in the polls or anything like that. And then even if that happens, imagine J.D. Vance absolutely eviscerates Tim Walz, makes him look like a goddamn laughingstock. What's the legacy media going to do? Let me ask that rhetorically, and it's very, very rhetorical. They will not report on it. They'll simply ice it out, and they'll circle wagons, because they want Harrison Walz to be the next president and vice president of the United States. They don't want a second term of Trump. They're terrified of it, actually. I've got an excellent. Thank you, Meathook123. Let me take this and see what happens. Tim Walz was seen flipping a man off that said Trump 2024, baby, while at a Michigan football game. I can't give you audio, but I can, let me see that. Oh, yeah, he did flip him off. Yep, apparently that's fact check. This is true. Let me put that over in chat on YouTube as well. Assuming that it actually goes through. I'm a content creator. God damn it, I'm allowed to post whatever I want. John Andrew, a hurricane is an old school drink. Kamala and Pelosi would know that. Yeah, they know their drink, so does AOC. Kamala always looks smashed. I think in her case, it's just the fact that she's a psychopath. I don't actually believe her to be a drunk. She's just naturally like that. She doesn't need to drink to be psychopathic. Although, can you imagine if you got her loaded? You know, she'd probably drag her pants off. You Imagine the wizard sleeve that's hanging between those legs. She's like the mid-shelf wine mom sort of person, if I had to guess. Wonder what kind of drinks different politicians would drink. With Trump, we know he's a teetotaler, who's kind of stupid, but he doesn't drink any alcohol. Apparently, according to him, he's never had an alcoholic beverage in his life. I can imagine that's probably a lie. I have a feeling that he's had a few glasses of champagne once in a while, but he doesn't seem to be a drinker. Vance, he'd be like a Pabst dude. He'd be like the dude, bro, give me the fucking beer. Kamala, mid-shelf wine, something like that. She'd be partying with Elizabeth Warren. Tim Walz, oh God, I can only imagine what nutty drinks. He's probably the kind of sad sap that would drink like multiple kinds of liquor and wine and beer at the same time, get smashed, and then have a massive hangover. I can't imagine that dude holds his liquor very well. Water and orange juice. Gotta stay hydrated. Yeah, what would Tim Walz drink? He's like a man with no personality. He reminds me a little bit of John Kerry, actually. The Grizzly. What do you think of Michigan Congresswoman Elisa Slotkin accidentally letting it slip that Kamala's internal polls show her underwater in the state? I'm not surprised. I still favor her to win Wisconsin. I mean, yes, Wisconsin and Michigan. I think all the other swing states go to Trump if the election were held today. Keep in mind, we've got more than a month to go still. And so it's going to, we might see some sparks at the vice presidential debate. We've got competing town halls in October. We're not exactly sure. We've still got plenty of time for Kamala to really, really fuck it up. And she's really, really good at fucking it up. She's basically like the black female version of Joe Biden, actually, when you think about it. I wonder why she was chosen as running mate. All right. Yes, Hezbollah has confirmed that Nasrallah is dead. They have recovered his body, by the way, and apparently it was 80 tons of munitions or something like that that was dropped on the building that he was trying to shelter in. And they killed off a bunch of other Hezbollah leaders in the process. It wasn't just Nasrallah. They waited till they were having like a senior level meeting, and then they dumped a bunch of munitions on the building and basically buried them alive. Probably, I mean, they're probably dead in the process, but some of them might have straggled on for a while and been like, oh shit, I'm about to die. And it's dark in here, and I can't breathe. It's rather morbid when you think about it. I'm not going to shed any tears for people that are members of Hezbollah, just to be clear. But there were a bunch of civilians that died as well, and that's always rather unfortunate. This has happened before. So, yeah, they recovered. Well, I mean, how is there a body left, says Oyablowski. It's probably remnants of a body more than anything else. Like, okay, here's his head and part of his torso. There's a little bit of an arm attached. We can identify who he is, basically. That's what it's probably that's probably what happened. But they did recover his body. And now Hezbollah and Israel are launching barrage after barrage against each other, apparently. So we've got a regional war, unfortunately, at this time. It has escalated beyond Israel got pissed at Hamas and invaded Gaza. That's a relatively limited incursion. Gaza is really, really small. It's not even as big, I think, as Rutland County, if I remember correctly. I think I checked the land area. Let me check that. Land area of Gaza Strip. Land area of Gaza Strip. Yeah, much, much smaller. It's a real tiny area. And so that's a limited incursion. Whether you're Team Israel, Team Palestine, or you're like me and you're Team America and you're like, fuck you, that's a limited incursion. High population, but over a very small area of land. But now Hezbollah has gotten involved, and Hezbollah, while a non-state actor, is extremely well armed and well equipped. They are very well trained as well. This is a standardized fighting force, top-down, hierarchical, very organized. It'll take them time to reorganize, though, because their leadership has largely been destroyed at this point. I have a suspicion that the Israelis got intel that Hezbollah was going to organize an onslaught against their nation, and they decided to act preemptively. And they said, well, we've got intel on where he is. They're meeting right now specifically for the purpose of trying to invade us or bombard us. Let's just pull the trigger. I have a feeling that's exactly what happened. I have no love for any power in that region because I've never been to that region. No Israeli ever fucked me over. No Palestinian ever fucked me over. That's sort of my mantra. Adam Roger, Trump doesn't drink because of what it did to his brother. Yes, he did mention that. But he's probably had a couple of glasses of champagne at some point. You're opening the new casino, you get the glass of champagne. I don't think he's ever been drunk or wasted, though. I believe him when he says that, but I have a feeling he has imbibed some substance at some time. He probably tried a cigarette when he was younger. Let's just be honest about that. Wasted. Great. Now when the skeletons commit terrorist attacks, the media will take hit pieces on the undead. They make hit pieces every day anyway. Bulldozer. Not gonna lie, Kamala's Wasted Clit is a horrible and amazing name for an amateur death metal band. Oh my God. Please don't give anyone any ideas. There are teenagers in the audience. 8hog. I wouldn't be so sure that Kamala has the advantage in Wisconsin. Biden was ahead in the polls by nearly 8 points, but won by less than half a point. Kamala's lead is not quite on that level. Agreed, but they're still fortified to my knowledge, I believe. Any state that's fortified, Trump is going to lose. The good news is that Pennsylvania, Arizona, and other states have at least partially defortified, purging voter rolls, making sure that everyone has to show voter ID and stuff like that. So the hope is that there are enough states competitive that have defortified that he actually has a chance to win. This is a non-black-pilled channel. I still give a 90% chance of Donald Trump winning, 85, 90%, something around that. Let's get to our sponsors before we get to the rest of the news. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills. Yeah, they give you energy. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring them here because I thought, well, they might think these pills are drugs and confiscate them, and I don't want to waste them. I really like the Brain 2 version. Again, it has an unintended side effect that I thought was quite positive. It's not sexual in nature, by the way. It has to do with drug usage, actually, man. Pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get keychains, belt chains, bookmarks, and much, much more. That's glassware, there's engraved spoons. Pumpkinfirecrafts.us. Really fun store. They've also got non-sticks merchandise available as well. BillTongUSA.com or AntonsUSA.com. You can use them interchangeably. He can hook you up with some of the greatest meat in the world. He doesn't have turtle biltong yet, but I'm sure that he's probably working on it. Could probably work. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Anton if he can turn turtle into biltong. That would be a limited run, though, I'm assuming. But also Stick, Sex, and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts available. WickedNeedleEmbroidery.BigCartel.com, where you can get Stick, Sex, and Hammer hats. Several colors and styles are available. Most people, I think, like the black ones with the offset logo, if I remember correctly. That was the one that I wore first. They're like, man, I need to get one of those hats. I'm like, don't worry, dude. We'll get hats available. Shit. HeritageHeirloomSeedCompany.com, where you can get a seed survival bucket. You can also get Stick, Sex, and Hammer soap, cedar, clove, and blueberry. There's a new blend, I believe, that's not yet available, but I believe it will. It's with marjoram, lavender, and I can't remember the third essence that was in there. Gives a good lather, cleans you up, smells real good, by the way. Definitely worth it. Webster'sWares.com/sticks-wares, where you can get Sticks, X, and Hammer knives. We've also got beanies. There are jackets, and also steel straws, metal straws. So, you can save a sea turtle like the one that I just ate the other day. It's a fun experience. You can also go to their main site. They've got all sorts of Trump stuff. There's various paraphernalia, miscellanea there as well. And finally, jamandbean.com. That is JAMNbean.com. Coffee that I had this morning, by the way, where you can get delicious coffee. We've got a Clank blend available. So check out their website. There is a literal Sticks, X, and Hammer endorsed coffee blend there. You can also get the Costa Rica. That's really good. They've got teas available, all sorts of stuff. So check them out. Those are our sponsors. We have Emperor Soft Turtle. I just ate turtle the other day. Trump is open about his love of pretty women. I think he's being honest about not doing drugs. Why about one and not the other? Well, he had to have had like a glass of champagne at some point. I guarantee he's at least tried alcohol and tobacco and stuff like that. It just doesn't seem like he ever got addicted to them. Before his brother got wasted and got fucked up, I'm sure that he tried a couple of things and he probably was like, I prefer money and pussy. And so he decided to leave it alone. Let's see. Cultivated Mind. Hello, Clankers. 2 more weeks to enter the Sticks merch raffle. Win hats, a hoodie, spoons, coffee, and more. You must enter code STICKS at checkout to be entered into win one of 3 prize boxes drawing October 15th. So that's, again, Cultivated Mind. That's where I get me mushrooms. I like mushrooms. You grill up some shiitakes, fry them off with a stir fry. Damn. What do fuck? Sticks, YouTube isn't showing you at the top of my list anymore. Tim Pool, Salty Cracker, and Mark Dice, but not you. Bummer. Not a surprise. I've been blacklisted. I mean, it's election season. What do you expect? Sir Thomas Drake, I'm presuming the mushroom pills have possibly repaired or reactivated your cannabinoid receptors and you're able to smoke again. I will neither confirm nor deny this for various reasons. Yeah, no, the cultivated mind pills, definitely. They have unintended positive consequences. I'm just saying. Liz's Large Bull. Oh, hell, Sticks, you're an ugly motherfucker, but you look dead today. Here's a buck. Happy overdosing money. Stormy Daniels. So innocent. Sticks sucks dick. How's your wife, loser? Your new girlfriend is gonna cuck you too. As long as you pay me, you can get pretty much anything that won't get me banned read out. Now, if I look dead today, it's because I was on Bourbon Street the other day. I am a little bit tired, admittedly. Johnny Azul, any supernatural encounters during your time in NOLA? Yes, actually. But I'll talk about that later on. Not on the live stream. What do fuck? That mushroom sandwich receive, I think you mean recipe, of yours is delicious. Yeah, mushroom burgers are great. They're almost better than a regular fucking hamburger. I got a smash burger the other day. I've never had one before in my life. Oh, when I got the turtle soup, you go to the restaurant, right? And I'm like, I'll get turtle soup and some fries. And then, of course, I got a drink. And water, of course. Water's not really a drink. It's just water. They brought out the enormous tray of fries. And I'm like, holy goddamn shit. How do you even make money on this order? It was like this big. It was enormous. It was like 1.5 pounds of fucking French fries. It was insane. I couldn't eat them all. I've still got, most of them are still in the fridge right now. I'm going to reheat them later and have leftovers. I've still got part of the smash burger too, I suppose. And by the way, they have good fries. I can't remember the name of the restaurant that I went to the other night, but they had the best French fries I've ever had, actually. The only thing that would be on par with that, and unfortunately they went out of business, Seward's in Rutland used to have beer battered fries. And boy, oh boy, were they fucking good. Now I'm never going to taste him again because the dude decided to close up shop. Rather sad. Oh, by the way, Rutland news. We'll be talking about that probably tomorrow. In Rutland, we are a weird city. Technically, I live in Rutland town, but it's all the metro area. They're moving the Walmart to the old Diamond Run Mall. And so there's going to be a gaping hole in the downtown for a while because we're not exactly sure exactly who's going to be willing to pay the rent to move in there. I'm personally going to suggest I'm probably going to go to the next city council meeting or something when I get back and say, why don't you just put up the winter market vendors in what used to be Walmart? I mean, it's an indoor space. Then you can use the other indoor space for something else, have a brewery or whatever. We've got Rutland Red. It's actually a pretty good beer. But then have to do something with it. Redane, fun fact, Trump likes to eat pizza with a fork. Yes, that is one character flaw that I would, yeah. We won't talk about Trump and pizza or Trump and steak. He agrees with razor fist on steak. I think that's degenerate myself. Taco Woman, Sandy Ravage, Sticks, my band Gnashing had a great show this past Saturday at Siberian NOLA. You can watch our full set on the Nolan channel on YouTube. Sounds cool. Yeah, I'm sorry that I couldn't attend. I had to go to the insectarium and shit like that. Gristle lumps. Fun fact, Tim Walz drinks horse fluids with his butt. Yes, I have heard of this. Metal Music sent 5, I think, Australian dollars. No comment. Thank you very much. Sigil Stone. Sticks looks dead. He got had by the voodoo man and has joined Bonehead on my way with the holy coprolite to smash his worm-eaten brains in and release his soul. No, if I look a little bit out of it, it's because I've been partying down. I'm on vacation, dude. I mean, it's a work vacation as well, but, What do fuck? My buddy from the Marines took me to a wonderful restaurant there and had the best roasted oysters I've ever had. If interested, I'll ask him the name. I cannot eat oysters. I've tried them on several different occasions. Every single time I've gotten food poisoning. So I've sworn I can't even think about oysters. Sorry. Calamari? Yes. Scallops? Oh, hell yes. Shrimp? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Prawns? I was actually out with some friends, and one of them had a couple of kids the other day when we ate the turtle soup and stuff. And there were prawns there. And of course, the average person doesn't eat, like the shell of the prawn. They sort of suck the meat out. And I was chuckling about it, and I bit the head off one of the prawns and ate it. And the kids are like, oh, that's cool. And they were trying to dare me to eat more prawns. All right. So I ate another one. I sucked its eyeballs out and everything. They thought it was hilarious. I'm not exactly the most mature individual in the world. I like to have fun. Bystander syndrome. Sticks. It's because the Mexicans are very Catholic and Trump is most closely aligned value-wise, and the next generation has come of age with all the facts and sources instantly available, partly you. Yeah, I know. That's only part of it, though. A lot of it is economics. Imagine you come to the United States. You're a legal immigrant. You signed the fucking paperwork. You paid the fucking lawyer. You filed off the fucking forms. You went through the fucking biometrics. You did everything right. And now you have a kid, and that kid, they're born in the United States. They weren't born in Mexico. That kid is being compared to some random illegal from Indonesia. I would think it's rather patronizing and sad, honestly. It's just like the video that I made earlier today with the mental illness with the CNN article saying, oh my God, Trump called Kamala Harris mentally ill. That's insulting to the mentally ill. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? The bitch is a psychopath. I've got ADHD. Are we both mentally ill? Yeah, I think there are different gradients of mental illness. It's just like there are different shades of the same color. Well, is it light blue or dark blue? They're not exactly interchangeable now, are there? Kamala Harris is a psycho. I'm eccentric and bizarre sometimes and have an overdeveloped sense of humor and some OCD. But that doesn't make me a psycho, and it definitely doesn't make me want to bomb small orphans and then laugh about it. Kamala seems to find this hilarious, actually. Furious George, recently surfaced interview saying Kamala shot a black rhino while on a diplomatic visit to Africa. Send that to me on Twitter DM. I doubt that that's true, but with Kamala, you never know. Brandy with a Y. I've been down and suicidal for about a year. If you're middle-aged, then I'm middle-aged. Is it time for the midlife crisis? My apologies, and don't do it, by the way. Life can get better. Self-improve. Now, work out, develop a new hobby, something like that. That's all you got to do. Uplift yourself. If nobody else is uplifting you, do it yourself. And you'll feel better. You might still suffer from depression and stuff like that, but don't fucking do it. Liz's large bull. Stick sucks dick, he says over and over. Never done that, actually. What do fuck? Black rhino lives matter. Sigil. Last mentally ill person I saw was severely schizophrenic and screaming at the ceiling people. Something about his Aryan Brotherhood tattoos tells me he wouldn't have liked CNN speaking for him. Yeah, as far as suicide goes, this is a no black pill channel. If you're feeling depressed, you can always reach out to me on Twitter DM. I will try to talk to you and see what I can do. I've done this many, many times before, especially back when YouTube had a messaging system. You're not alone. So, yeah, take it easy. Patriotic vegan. Start drinking and doing drugs like Styx did. I don't use drugs, actually. I have the occasional drink, but, I'm not exactly smashed at the moment. I am very, very punch drunk, though, because I'm exhausted as fuck. You know, when you're partying down and eating turtle soup and walking around for hours, my muscles right now, they're not necessarily liking me. Let's see. Metal Musics. Oh, I read that one. Emperor Soft Turtle. Dumbest thing about the Walls football game is something only a sports ball fan cares about. He cheered against Minnesota. Yeah, here, if the Saints are playing, apparently it's basically like it's full inclusivity with regards to the celebration if they win. I think the other day, and there was I don't know if it was a Saints or a college football game or something like that. You'd hear people cheering all around. I was trying to find Marie Laveau's grave the other day. Couldn't find it, actually. I'm not very good with geolocation. Not in flat areas. If there are mountains around, then I can hike around all day. I'll never lose my way. Steve Resurrected. JD Vance should bring up the fact no one is helping or talking about the hurricane. Also, there's a lot of astroturfing about JD being unlikable. Yeah, he's weird. That's the astroturf. Tigers are my totem. Sent $5. No comment. Thank you. Metal Music. This time my message should go through, but I was wondering if you think personally by 2030 we will actually own nothing and apparently be happy. No, that will not happen. Not so long as I'm above ground and not like wasted bonehead over there. BW, I hope Vance brings up the middle finger thing. That would be funny. And it would be characteristic, too. Mr. Baker, check out Mosca's while you're in the Nola area. It's a Creole Italian restaurant that was an old mob hangout. It was actually founded by the personal chef of the Dawn of the New Orleans mob. Had Italian last night. I gorged myself the other day. I had like turtle soup, huge pile of French fries, and then there was Italian food. So I ate like spaghetti and meatballs and some garlic bread and weird shit. It was delicious, by the way. Curtis Kelliam sent $1.99. No comment. Thank you very much. Liz's Large Bull. Hey, Sticks. In the game Metroid, when Metroid rolls into a ball, do you think Metroid hurts its back? Stick sucks a dick. Not sure. Maybe. I don't know. Sigil. A coprolite is fossilized turd, you skeletard, not a sledgehammer. Yes, I used to have a coprolite, actually. Unfortunately, I lost all of my fossils when I was in Texas. I had one hell of a collection. Some people here would probably have been jealous if they were into that sort of thing. It was a lot of fossils. Furious George, article on rhinos here. I'll check that out. Did Kamala Harris actually shoot a rhinoceros? Site can't be reached. I think there might be some shenanigans going on. I'll look it up manually. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, dude. I think there's shenanigans. What the fuck? Biden is a coprolite. Yeah, he is a fossilized turd. Matthew Hammond. Why were Virginia State Police required to rescue East Tennesseans? Tennessee National Guard were deployed for 1 year to the Middle East as the storms hit. How wonderful. Metal Music. I was asking before if you really think by 2030 we will know nothing and apparently be happy. Yeah, no, we will still own things. That's basically hyperbole from the globalists. They're putting on the big ass, and they're hoping for, some return. It's like if I ask you for $100 and you're like, no way, dude. And I'm like, okay, can I have like $10? And you're like, oh, whatever. It's just $10 or something like that. That's basically how the globalists incrementally destroy our culture. Holden Sneedmeyer, Russian constitution forbids ceding territory, the 4 regions, so that won't happen. Your recent Ukraine video looks at the U.S.'s capacity throughout the same lens as John Bolton and other neocons. Possibly, but Putin can also randomly change the constitution there, so it may or may not be an issue. Also, he could just say, well, we kept the territory that we were originally Donetsk, probably. Aiming for, and the rest of the territory we're just, unilaterally ceding. Who's going to say no to Putin in an agreement deal? Well, Trump he'll be able to negotiate it, I think. Curtis Kelliam, I forgot to type, but also I suffer from depression. Thanks for the non-black pills about the new job, so I'm on the up and up. Nice. Yeah, don't get black pilled about life. Don't get depressed. I mean, we can't help it. Sometimes we feel sad. I've felt suicidal before in my time, hundreds of times, but of course have never done it. And, if I had slaughtered myself back in the day, I wouldn't be here to white pill other people. So you can be the positivity you want in the world. I'm here to give light. What the fuck, Biden? Oh, yeah, I already read it. Wasted Bonehead. You missed my last one. Sorry, man. Where is it? Cringe ass spammer bitch. Also, Sigil couldn't lift a sledgehammer, let alone smash a skull open with one. Just a sec, somebody's knocking at the door. All right, everyone, I should be back here. Let's see. Sigil. Lol, Mr. Bonehead rant. Skeleton got fucked. What the fuck? From the intel drop, diplomatic hunt, VP Kamala Harris shot and killed a critically endangered black rhino in Zambia in 2023. You got to get like a real link to me because the other one didn't work. Goodness. Oh, someone is asking about the holster. I carry a Glock 17 usually. You can't have that on live stream usually. I mean, you can, but you have to put your shirt over it. Liz's Large Bull. Hey, clunkers. Myron Gaines has the stream where Styx was weird, drunk. I'm not even going to bother reading that, even if you pay me. Thank you for the dollar, though. Yeah. I don't comment on my personal situations anyway. Holden Sneedmeyer, lol. All right, let's get to the next news story. We've got a major chemical uh, problem in Georgia right now. Over in, I'll read this verbatim. Over 90,000 Georgia residents have been ordered to shelter in place after a massive fire at a chemical plant sent a sky-high plume of smoke, which could easily be seen for miles. While around 17,000 residents were evacuated from the area, countless others have been urged to stay home, shut their windows and doors, and turn off the AC, given state of the air quality following Sunday's fire at the biolab plant in Conyers, Georgia. Yeah, I saw footage from this. This is way worse than East Palestine. Naturally, the administration has not commented on it, to my knowledge. The Rockdale County government said the Environmental Protection Agency, oh yeah, the government's here to help. That makes everyone in the community feel much safer. And the state's Environmental Protection Division revealed the harmful irritant chlorine was detected in the air following the blaze, which was reportedly sparked by a malfunctioning sprinkler head. Yeah, those EPA regulations, apparently, they work so well. According to Rockdale County Fire Chief Marion McDaniel, the fire ignited around 5 a.m. Sunday when water mixed with a water-reactive chemical at the plant. That's probably not a great idea. Hey, let's put the sprinkler over this vat. That makes a whole lot of sense. Both the fire chief and Biolab, the swimming pool and spa water care division for consumer products, have said there were no injuries in the fire, though employees were inside the plant at the time of the fire. So thankfully, it looks like nobody was at least injured. So there's some good news, to go along with the what the hell is going on. Sigil, Glock? So you like horse semen? No, I'm definitely part of the Glock family. It's got to be Glock. My uncle, he has a Smith and Wesson. So, but he's literally gay, so, Based acid fox. Yeah, if Howard Stern gropes a chick, that's cool, but if Styx does it, it's not. Get the fuck out. My feelings exactly. You look at my username. Do you expect me not to be a little bit on the odd side? Yeah. I'll just put it that way. To be clear, everybody talks. I don't give a shit about gossip and stuff like that. Over 3,000 people watching. And it's not even on my normal time schedule. Here's one thing. This is a more serious story. We're talking about some things that are more flippant, but this is one. I have to weigh in on this. Megyn Kelly on Kamala Harris interview. If you vote for that, then you deserve what you're going to get. I completely and totally disagree with that. I totally disagree. I can understand why a person would support Kamala Harris. Of course, I'm supporting Trump. But you've got to understand, people have been propagandized to. They've been told that Donald Trump is basically the mentally retarded version of Adolf Hitler. That if he's elected, everyone will get deported, women will be barefoot and in the kitchen, abortions will be banned, everyone will get shot, we're all going to die, basically. World War III erupts, we all get vaporized. If you genuinely believe that, I can understand why you would probably vote for his opponent. I don't think that we should approach this from the position of ridiculing people, looking down on them for voting for Kamala Harris or wanting to vote for Kamala Harris. I don't think that we should do that. Kamala may be a problem. That doesn't mean that everyone that supports her is a problem. Now, does it? Some of those people are very intelligent people. They mean well. They're voting. They think that they're voting patriotically. They're like, well, my country is in danger because of this crazy fat orange man. And so I need to vote for the opponent. Ridiculing them is not going to change their mind. If you genuinely want to, restore the republic, ridiculing them is going to do the opposite. It's going to steal them in their resolution to vote for Kamala Harris. While I have no real problem with Megyn Kelly, although her career foibles aside were pretty funny, she's wrong. That's not the way to go about it. You get more flies. There's an old adage. You get more flies with a teaspoon of sugar than a gallon of vinegar. If you ridicule people and you say, well, you're wrong, you're stupid and stuff like that, you're not changing anyone's mind. You're just making them hate you. What's the point? Yeah, you didn't change the person's vote. If anything, you probably just made them more likely to vote opposite what you would vote. And so I don't see the point. So I disagree with Megyn Kelly on that one, which is not a surprise. I don't think that you can ridicule your way to an election victory. I don't think that you can insult other people and expect them to see your way. It's just, it doesn't make any sense, ultimately. Now people are talking about different kinds of guns in chat. Sir Thomas Drake, Glock has a second business in milking stallions. It's true. Goodness. Sigil, the lumber mill that feeds my job, had a fire over the weekend. The log cutting building burned down. Inventory and drying kilns are operational. Fire happened when the mill closed for over a day. Huh. That sucks. What do fuck sent the story link? I'll take that. Let me read these. Sigil Stone, and right after the investors and moneymen toured through, and after the value adjuster did the yearly appraisal on the machines, on a rainy day, indoors. Soy-free Warhammer. Hello, fellow neighborhood news hippie. I'm starting Monster Fest tomorrow every week in October. I'll be looking at new horror movie. Angry Tabletop Nerd. And he has his link for Rumble. Sounds cool. Lord of the Waffle House. Sticks, I was in Rutland earlier this month, but didn't get to run into you. Would you mind if I sent you a gift? I'm pretty sure I saw your mailbox. Rofel. I was staying in a hotel right by the McDonald's. That's probably the one my mom works in, by the way. There are two of them. Yeah, you can send me a gift. That's fine. Yeah, no, I'm part of the Glock fam. VP Harris shot and killed a critically endangered black rhino in Zambia in 2023. Shit, it appears to be true. I'm going to have to fact check it, though. I can't report on it unless there's, like, corroboration. And you can't get that from legacy media, generally speaking, anyway. It wouldn't surprise me, though. Also, Al Sharpton is fundamentally correct. Yes, hell has frozen over. I'm no fan of Al Sharpton, although he's more innocuous than some liberal politicians. But his comments here fundamentally are correct. Reverend Al Sharpton says there's no precedent for possible New York City mayor removal by Governor Hochul. I agree with him. The fact that she's trying to revive some age-old law over allegations against Eric Adams that have not been corroborated, we're not sure exactly 100% what the evidence is, fraud charges mainly and things like that, is ludicrous. They're trying to remove him from office without actually having been found guilty of any crime. Well, you know, you can indict a ham sandwich, is the old adage. I could be indicted. You could be indicted. Anyone can be indicted. Your mom can be indicted. It doesn't mean that you're guilty of a crime. The only reason that they're trying to force out Eric Adams is because of the fact that he spoke out against the Biden administration on immigration issues, basically. He was a more outspoken. Hochul is like, she's totally, you know, she's covering her ass. She's like, well, maybe I'll try to remove him from his mayorship position. Oh, yeah, throw him under the bus. Sort of like Eric Adams threw Biden under the bus. I mean, to tell the truth, there is really no difference. But it did happen. And the fact is that he's fundamentally correct. You can be in favor of immigration without being in favor of saying, yeah, fuck the border, you know. Anyone can wander across. Doesn't matter where they're from. Those are not incommensurate positions to take. Eric Adams is like, look, I don't have any problem with immigrants, but we've been overloaded to the point where we can't provide basic services for these people. We can't provide food. We can't provide anything. You know, there are people that are sleeping in the streets as a result of Biden's shitty policy. You know, not just immigrants, but also native citizens. And we just can't deal with it. We don't have the funds. We don't have the means. He and Hochul, by the way, they petitioned the Biden administration months ago for an extreme amount of money to try to supply those things. What did the Biden administration do? Did it give them the money? No, because it doesn't give a shit about these people. It doesn't care about immigrants, legal or otherwise. It doesn't care about them at all. And so, yeah, Al Sharpton is actually right. I never thought that I would actually say that. I'm going to take a look at that Intel drop later. I might put that in the docket for tomorrow or something. Just a sec here. What do fuck? To be fair, I don't believe the Rhino story. I don't think Kamala knows which is the business end of the firearm. Yeah, I don't believe it. I think that it's probably bogus. And that's because when she comes out and says, well, I own firearms. Anyone who breaks into my house is going to get shot. Dude, yeah, by private security, not by you. You probably couldn't cycle a fucking revolver, just to be clear. Sigil Stone, hell will freeze over when Satan tries to stuff Al Sharpton into the furnace and his fat ass blocks it up. He's actually skinny as fuck now. You know, for a dude of his age, he doesn't look bad. I mean, he's had, ta-da, he's finally had an opinion that makes sense. I support Eric Adams in that. Is he guilty? Of course he is. Is the reason he's being prosecuted for that guilt because he spoke out against the current administration? Absolutely. Show me the man, I'll show you the goddamn crime. A good prosecutor can nail anyone to the wall with at least a few misdemeanor charges. It's not difficult. Everyone commits misdemeanors all the time. You know, what kid hasn't stolen a pack of gum from the store, in other words? Everyone's guilty of a few misdemeanors. I'm guilty of misdemeanors and felonies. The dashing rogue. Stop identifying as mentally ill until mentally healthy is defined in the positive. I identify as myself. I have no further identity. I don't give a shit about mental illness, cognitive capacity, race, ethnicity, gender. I just don't give a fuck. I am myself. You either take it or leave it. Sigil Stone. The Kamala Harris Rhino story seems to originate from a site that calls itself Zimbabwe's leading news site. I don't think there's a grain of salt big enough to take with that. Yeah, I'm assuming that it's false. Yeah, if you were a kid and you never tried to steal something from a store, then probably you're lame-o, actually. I stole, I think it was a die-cast car. They used to have at the Woodstock Pharmacy, they had a thing with, you know, the die-cast cars. It was right next door to my apartment. And I stole one and brought it back, of course. And my mom made me take it back and apologize. And then I never stole anything again because, you know, it's humiliating. It's like, I'm so sorry. Shit. I didn't get away with it. Love the car, though. I used to have a great die-cast car collection. I wish that I still had it. I used to have it in those old Lego containers. You remember when you could get Legos back in the 90s? And they had, like, Lego-shaped containers, and you could literally stack them like they were giant plastic Legos with Legos inside of them? Man, I wish I still had that shit. That was great. 17 George, I get the reference. I identify as a meat popsicle. Fifth Element, great movie, by the way. One of the greatest comedies ever made. I would rate it as number 3. Well, number 3 or number 4. Young Frankenstein is the best. That's the best comedy ever made. And then, of course, you've got Kung Pao Enter the Fist. I've talked about that before. My nipples look like milk duds. And, would that go in number 3 or number 4? Not 100% sure because, I mean, there are a million great comedy. Arsenic and Old Lace is a comedy movie. Ugh. Arsenic and Old Lace or Fifth Element. People can tell me in chat, by the way. One of those is number 3. I don't know which. I think I'll put Arsenic and Old Lace in at number 3 and Fifth Element gets number 4. Technically, it's not a full-on comedy, by the way, anyway. There's combat and shit like that. There's some emotional moments. It's not as slapstick, but the parts with Tucker, those are definitely slapstick. Like when they're running underneath the pool table, trying to get away from the explosive that Corbin Dallas has just, you know, shot up into the ceiling. And he's like counting off and then he starts screaming wildly. Yeah, that was great. One of my favorite movies of all time. It's a space comedy for those that haven't seen it. Bruce Willis is Corbin Dallas. Fluston's Paradise. Hoochie coochie coo. All night long. All night long. All night. I just can't get enough of that particular scene. Anything with Ruby Rod is the best part of the movie. And they had, what's his name? He played Dracula, actually, playing as Borg. Gary Oldman, I believe. Yes. Also, Space Truckers was fun. Yeah. Anyways, I've gone over an hour here, and so I'm going to have to go offline. Keep in mind, in a little bit, I'll be live with the quartering. That's in roughly, I think, a half an hour or so. I'm on a different time zone, so I can't be 100% sure. I'm not good with time zones. I'll be live with the quartering on his broadcast, and we'll be having some fun, definitely talking about all the crazy news that's going on. And then I'll be back tomorrow, another live stream. Don't go live with the quartering until Wednesday. I'll go live with him. But tomorrow, keep in mind, I may or may not live stream at all because I do want to visit Marie Laveau's grave. And I really want to go out and get some crazy food and stuff like that, you know, and all the Creole stuff because it's delicious. That's about all. Peace out.